facing the police every single day.
Hey, Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I got to do a comment on this before I do a screen read. We finally have got in the news again on this gun pawn list that I told you guys about 9 months ago. A friend of mine asked me to do a search for his name in the Charlotte County Sheriff's database, and what do you know? Guess what came up? His name was in emails, and what they were doing is the pawn shops here, you got to give them all your information. It's just so fucked up. It's stupid. Gee, fuck. Wow. Anyways, but when it comes to guns, you do have to give them all your information. If you sell it to a pawn shop or to a gun store and or pawn a gun, it goes in their pawn database. They have all your information. Insane. But there's a statute here called 790.335, which clearly states, because and they made this statute because they know the cops are and sheriffs are corrupt as fuck, that the sheriffs cannot have your name. They can only have the gun and the serial number to see if it's hot. That's fine. I don't give a shit, okay? All right. But they were taking all their information and they were illegally profiling people with this just because you sold a gun or bought a gun. It was fucked up. And here's what's sad about this article. The guy that wrote this article is an ex-cop. He hates my guts because I broke the story apparently and he didn't. And I've been breaking a lot of stories on cops because that's what COPWATCH does. So it's really fucked up. He mentions my name nowhere in this article. It's pretty disgusting. So he's a piece of shit, but at least he wrote about it. And from what I'm hearing, people that are sharing this is going big. By law, under 790.335, it's a third-degree felony if they do this shit, and the sheriff did. Sarasota Sheriff did. This is a Sarasota Sheriff's gun pawn list that he gave to me, unredacted. He did not do the blue stuff here. I did. And it had all their information. It was insane. The Charlotte County Sheriff was actually sending the information. Here it is redacted, and talking about profiling these people. It was unreal. And under 790, if you give this information, Northport police are doing this too, by the way. And actually, here's a really sad thing. We asked all sheriffs, all 60 sheriffs, all 200 police, are you getting this list? Almost everybody said yes. It's out of control. Even though it's a felony offense, $5 million fine per agency. And this is what it says in 792, that if you give the state attorney the evidence, they must investigate. So I did that. I called up the state attorney. They said you have to fill out an affidavit, get it notarized, and give it to me. We will investigate ourselves. So it's kind of like the mafia investigating itself. And sure enough, they said, we didn't do anything wrong. I will admit this, the gun writer here did kick their ass in this article and said, you motherfucking corrupt-ass piece of shit, you did not do your job. He is guilty, and you did not do your goddamn job. And here's what's worse, and I'm not going to show you this because the video would be too long. I did a records request to the state attorney general because I will add the video to that. I forgot about that. For all records that we've sent to the state attorney general, also must investigate if given evidence. And Ashley Moody, she will not admit that she's got it. She's got documents in her database, but she won't admit herself that she's seen it, because the minute that she sees it, she's got to investigate. And unbeknownst to Eric Friday, the best gun lawyer in Florida, me and the guy that broke the story went and saw Ashley Moody in person. We printed out some of the documents. We both had body cameras running, and we gave them to her. So we verbally told her and physically gave her the documents. She made up the excuse. It was at the Charlotte County cop sucking dinner. And she made the excuse, I can't read this because I don't have glasses. Well, sorry, we told you what it was. And as we're giving her evidence of the Charlotte County Sheriff Bill PRUMMELL, the Nazi fuck himself right here, he came up and literally pulled her away almost off of her feet because he knew that we were giving evidence. And so she's fucked. She knows about it. We've, given it to her. We've asked for the documents we gave her that night because, you know, if it's a crime, she's got to keep the documents. She doesn't have them. So either Bill PRUMMELL stole them or they both conspired together to put them in the trash. This whole thing is disgusting. Here's the good news. I've talked to ex-cops that are sharing the story, and they agree this is big. This is bad. It's supposed to be equal under justice under the law. So it's time to clean the swamp. If you motherfucking sheriffs have did this, you must pay. It's a felony offense. And if you have to be taken out of office because you did a felony offense, that's your fault, dipshit. We got a ton of police chief departments that have done this. So I'm going to do the screen read, and then I'm going to add to, like I said, we got the video where I actually gave her the video. So, I mean, gave her the documents. So they're fucked. The person that can deal with this is DeSantis. And then if he doesn't do anything, then we go to the feds. If our fucking government will not take care of a law here, then it's time to go to the feds. Remember what our founding fathers said, take a goddamn country back, and you are a frog in a pot, and it's boiling, dipshits. Get the fuck out and take it back.
Florida Carey, Charlotte County Sheriff illegally obtaining gun owners' personal information in violation of State Law 0. By Lee Williams on October 7, 2019. Florida Carey Incorporated, the state's largest and most active gun rights organization, in a letter to Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody, is demanding a statewide investigation into law enforcement's illegal abuse, misuse, and general operation of the Finder database, including the compilation of lists of gun owners, and illegal retention of records. There are felonies being committed by the Charlotte County Sheriff and, possibly, by other sheriffs throughout the state, said Sean Corona, founder and executive director of Florida Carey Incorporated. Charlotte County Sheriff Bill Prummell did not return calls or emails seeking comment for this story. Created in response to the 9/11 terrorist attacks, the Finder database allows law enforcement agencies to house and share low-level intelligence data over a secure statewide network when allowed by law. The data includes persons, vehicle, and pawn shop information, including personal information about gun owners who have pawned firearms. However, the personal information of gun owners is not shareable through the database, because keeping lists of firearms owners is expressly forbidden by Florida statute. No state governmental agency or local government, special district, or other political subdivision or official, agent, or employee of such state or other governmental entity or any other person, public or private, shall knowingly and willfully keep or cause to be kept any list, record, or registry of privately owned firearms, or any list, record, or registry of the owners of those firearms. 790.335, FLA Stat. Finder has a control button for sharing information with other agencies. This function has been disabled for firearms data, Corona explained. He also provided copies of several emails Sheriff Prummell had sent that contained the sensitive gun owner data. What they're doing is sending the data to an internal email, and then using the email to send to other agencies, Corona said. They're bypassing the legal safety protocols built into Finder. According to Florida Carey's letter, they first made the Attorney General aware of their concerns about the Finder database in February. Through an email sent to Chief Deputy Attorney General John Gard. Eric Friday, Florida Carey's general counsel, wrote that he spoke with Gard and told him of ongoing violation of Sector 790.335, FLASTAT by the Sheriff of Charlotte County, as well as his concerns that other sheriffs around the state might also be in violation of that statute. On February 27, 2019, I sent Mr. Gard an email to follow up on our conversation. In my email I provided evidence that the Charlotte County Sheriff was in violation of Sector 790.335. The email included a request that all 67 sheriff's offices in the state be investigated to determine if they were maintaining similar records in violation of state law, Friday wrote. Mr. Gard later notified me that FDLE would be investigating the issue. I never received any response from FDLE through April 29, 2019. In May, Friday received a notice that the state attorney for the 20th Judicial Circuit, which includes Charlotte County, had investigated a similar complaint against the Charlotte County Sheriff and determined there was not wrongdoing by the sheriff. This investigation was conducted by Assistant State Attorney Anthony Kasey, who heads the Special Prosecutions Unit of the 20th Circuit. On May 7, Friday emailed Asa Kasey, detailing exact violations of the law that were occurring. 1. The use of the Finder program to provide law enforcement with personally identifying information of any person who pawned a firearm. 2. The use of the Finder program for purposes other than those provided for by law. 3. Data mining the Finder database to create lists of firearms owners who had sold or pawned a firearm. 4. The list of firearms owners being emailed to avoid the automatic deletion of information required by the terms of Florida law. 5. The searchability of old records that had been illegally preserved to determine whether an individual owned or had previously owned firearms, and 6. The fact that the Finder program should not have as a capability or requirement, the transmission of personally identifying information to local law enforcement. Kasey, again, took no action. The fact that Mr. Kasey could reach such an opinion with the evidence and law laid out for him demonstrates the necessity that these violations be investigated by an independent prosecutor, Friday wrote. One who is not beholden to local law enforcement and will not be required to work with the local department that is breaking the law on an ongoing basis. Friday spelled out that it is Florida Carey's opinion that the pawn shop information is being used to obtain personal information on Florida gun owners, which violates state law. He also pointed out that the data is being retained beyond the time allowed by law. The right of gun owners not to be on government registration lists is clear in Chapter 790 Florida statutes. Despite those protections, it appears that at least one sheriff's office is violating those rights and is being protected by the local SOU, Friday wrote. Florida Carey expects that the Attorney General of Florida will faithfully execute and enforce the laws of Florida regardless of who is breaking them. We call on you to launch an immediate investigation of these lawbreakers regardless of their positions of power.
Are you aware of the... How are you?
Ashley.
Good to meet you again. I met you before.
Chris.
How are you?
I just wanted to meet you.
I'm glad you did. Thanks. This is my husband, Justin.
How you doing, Dustin? Justin, how you doing?
Good to meet you. Hey, can I mention one thing? I know you've told before a couple times. Are you aware of the... I was the one that broke the... Can I show you? I was the one that broke the story on the pawn list stuff that's happening here. Do you know where that's going? I tried to contact your office like 2 times in 1 month.
What is this?
Okay, so as you know, in the 79325, we're not supposed to mess with the pawn list, gathering names, and you can have that. Gathering names and, profiling them. They're only supposed to get the gun and the serial number. They're actually getting the names and profiling.
Okay.
And in 790, it actually says if proof is shown to you that you and the state attorney here are actually supposed to investigate.
Okay. I will take it and take a look at it. I'm embarrassed to tell you I can't read a word.
No, sorry.
I can't see anything.
By the way, I did give
I'm
the
embarrassed.
I gave the state attorney here. I did an affidavit, swore it out, notarized and everything. And they said they investigated.
I need you for a moment.
Okay.
And that's why he's taking away. Okay?
I will look
Get
at
back
it.
to
I
me.
promise. I'll
All
look
right?
at it.
Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH. I am using any video here with under fair use if you have criticism, reporting, teaching, etc. And please donate. I do not make money from YouTube, and there are different ways to donate in the video links. Thanks.